I think it's important once a year for us to get together, look at what happened, look what we think is going to happen, and basically remind ourselves that as Canadians, we are major energy producers and are major energy solution providers.
What distinguishes us from larger oil and gas producing countries such as Saudi and Russia is that Canada produces our resources with among the highest human rights and environmental standards in the world.
We are doing our part to try to reduce our own emissions, but the challenge is going to be how it is that we can rise the standard of living to all developing countries as they would expect to be throughout this time period of our net zero goals.
Saying that a narrow, single-minded focus on climate will not be successful at reducing emissions in the long term. We need integrated approaches that solve for emissions reductions, but also maintain energy fundamentals.
Any effort to decarbonize through electrification will need all levels of government, federal, provincial, and Indigenous, on the same page.
Indigenous communities are not anti-development. We've heard that time and time again, but we do want energy security.
Gas meets about 40% of our energy needs in Canada, and it's growing. As our population grows, as our industry grows, more people are connecting to the gas system. We had 81,000 new entrants to the gas system last year.
The ability to meet energy consumer demand is a priority. So we think Canada should be focusing on energy grid resiliency, growth, and affordability for end consumers, large and small alike, and working on log jams when we need to. We also think we need to have a Team North America approach to manufacturing in the energy space.
Our current electricity workforce nationally is a little over 110,000 people, so 110,600 approximately. Some good news, our total employment in the sector grew 12% over the last 5 years.
I think focusing only on electricity could be problematic. Diverse options lead to better outcomes. And that's kind of echoing the previous statement that I don't think we necessarily want to put all of our eggs in one basket. Complex problems do not often have simple solutions.
About 2 years ago, you'd be very hard-pressed to get any Canadian government official to say the word nuclear in front of a microphone. It just didn't exist. In backroom meetings, maybe you could discuss its importance, but it wasn't publicly accepted as an important part of Canada's energy system, despite it being, 15% of Canada's grid and 60% here in Ontario.
All provinces can participate in the hydrogen economy, and part of my job at the association is making sure that coast to coast we have opportunities and that we elevate the sector as a whole from coast to coast.
Microsoft is one of the largest purchasers of renewable energy on the planet, with 19 gigawatts of contracted renewables to date.
It is not as dismal as it seems in terms of the challenges that we face. The question is, how can we work together to overcome them? And to do so, I ask each and every one of you to reflect clearly on what is the next step.